see the summary of the speech. So the first step is the perception and the interpretation. Perception and the interpretation of spoken or the written words. That is the function of which areas? The visual or the auditory, primary and the association area. So for interpretation of the spoken or the written words, that is the function of primary and the association areas. Okay. The next step is go into the Wernicke's area. The next step it is goes into the signals go into the Wernicke's area. So here it is the area number, the Wernicke's area, that is the area number 22. Okay. So here there is area number 22. And it is located in which area? The posterior part of the superior temporal gyrus. Suppose there is a written speech. Suppose it is a written speech. The signals from this primary and the association areas, it goes via angular gyrus. It goes via the angular gyrus. Okay. So Wernicke's area, angular gyrus is located behind the Wernicke's area. From the Wernicke's area, there is a determination of the thought taken place, and it goes into the Broca's area. That is the Brodmann's area number 44. Okay, and it is located into the inferior frontal gyrus. It is located into the inferior frontal gyrus, or you can say it is located into the prefrontal lobe. If you do not remember anything, then you can say that it is located in the prefrontal lobe. So from the Broca's area, there is a vocalization is initiated. Vocalization is initiated, and vocalization or the movements of the writing is initiated. Okay. So but before signals go into the Broca's area, it goes via this arcuate fasciculus. So the structures or the bundle of the neurons which carry the signals from the Wernicke's area to the Broca's area, that is the arcuate fasciculus. Okay. So remember this arcuate fasciculus. Okay. And suppose the formation or the expression of the speech into the form of the writing, then the signals from the Broca's area go through the primary motor cortex. The vocalization and the movement is initiated. Here there is a primary motor cortex, area number 4. Okay. So before it reaches the area number 4, if you want to write, then there is a one more area, that is the Exner's area. There is a one more area, that is the Exner's area. So you can say that for the written speech, either it is a sensory modality or the motor modality, one more area in the sensory modality, the angulus gyrus or the degerens area. Degerens area located inside the angular gyrus, and for the motor modality of the spoken written speech, the one more area, that is the Exner's area. It is located in the middle frontal gyrus, and finally there is a movement of the writing taken place. So this was all about the speech, and this is the flowchart or the summary of the speech mechanism. Up to this level, it is a sensory modality or the sensory aspect of the speech. So you can write down like this, and this is the motor aspect of the speech. And you can make a flowchart like this. It is for the written speech, it is for the spoken speech. This one is the spoken speech, and this one is the for the addition of these two areas for the written speech. So this was all about the speech. Now we see the applied aspect. This is a summary of the speech, spoken speech, that is, or the written speech. This one is sensory aspect. Up to this is the motor aspect. Here one thing I ask you to note down, that is the Wernicke's area. The area corresponds to the Wernicke's area into the non-dominant hemisphere. Area corresponds to the Wernicke's area into the non-dominant hemisphere or the categorical representational hemisphere. It is responsible to understand the emotional content of the speech. So it means the tone of the speech. Suppose someone asks that you come. Either he or she asks you to come in anger or in form of the care or in form of the just a formality. So that emotional content of the speech, that or someone say get out, so he or she asks you to get out in anger, so that is the emotional content. Or he or she asks you to just as a formal the formal sentence, so okay, please do not disturb. So it is this is the emotional content of that particular word. So that emotional content of the speech, it is understood by this Wernicke's area. So area corresponds to the Wernicke's area into the non-dominant hemisphere or the representational hemisphere. So that is the important thing you have to note down here. Now next we will see the applied aspect. For the applied aspect, you have to remember that for the applied aspect, if this area is damaged, if there is a defect in this area, Wernicke's area, the rest of the things are normal. So the person cannot understand the words. There is no understanding, but person can speak properly. So if there is a lesion in the Wernicke's area, then there is a fluent type of aphasia. Okay, so the person is not, but whatever he or she is talking, that is irrelevant, or it may be meaningless, because he is not able to, or he is not aware of the meaning of the words or the understanding of the words. So if the Wernicke's area is damaged, the which type of aphasia taken place? That is a fluent type of aphasia. If the Broca's area is damaged, then understanding is completely normal. The understanding is very much completely normal, but person is not able to express. He or she able to understand completely whatever you say or whatever they read. Okay, but they can't express. They have even their own thoughts or they have ideas also, but they are not able to express it properly. So that is, if there is a damage to the Broca's area taken place, so the person can make only the noise, not the proper sentences, cannot speak. So if the Broca's area is damaged, there is a non-fluent type of aphasia. Okay, if both are damaged, then global aphasia, neither understanding nor the expression is proper. Okay, and if there is a damage to the arcuate fasciculus, in that case it is known as a conduction aphasia. The signals are interpreted properly, but the response to particular that stimulus is not proper, because these signals cannot carry to this Broca's area. Okay, so it is known as a conduction aphasia, that the signals whatever generated in the Wernicke's area, they cannot go into the Broca's area. So the lesion of this arcuate fasciculus, leads to the conduction aphasia. Okay, and in global aphasia, both Wernicke's and the Broca's, or it may be possible that arcuate fasciculus is also damaged, so their speech is affected. And aphasia means there is a inability to express either the written words or the spoken words, or the inability to understand, but in absence of the any paralysis or in defect. So here are the another names of the Wernicke's area from Guyton. That is the general interpretative area, the gnostic area, knowing area, tertiary association areas. And the best known is the Wernicke's area in the honor of the neurologist who has described the importance of this area. And that's why universally we call this area as a Wernicke's area. So remember this all these things helpful to you in MCQ. So the conductive aphasia, it occurs because of lesion in the arcuate fasciculus, we have seen. Then agraphia, it is inability to write because of lesion in the exnus area. The next is prosopagnosia. This prosopagnosia, it is inability to recognize the face. It occurs usually because of lesion in the inferior temporal lobe of non-dominant hemisphere. So it is important for the MCQ purpose. According to Guyton, it occurs because of a lesion on the medial underside of the occipital lobe or the medioventral surface of the temporal lobe. Lesion of these two structures leads to the prosopagnosia. These areas of the navigation, it is located into the subcortical structures of the non-dominant hemisphere. So it is located into the right hippocampus and the right caudate nucleus. And the men have a superior skills and the ability to navigate. That's why we have common experience said that the female maybe have inferior skill for in the mapping. Then acalculi, it is a selective impairment of mathematical ability. It is usually occur because of the frontal lobe lesion. So these are the some facts that will be helpful to you for the solving the MCQs. This is a diagram showing the map of the specific area in the cerebral cortex.